All right, guys, here we are. So the outbreak is now underway. We've got numerous thunderstorms now beginning to develop. I think a lot of people kind of anticipated that it might take a little bit, might pop up a little bit earlier, but it's on its way now. We've got several areas of severe weather here. We've actually got a storm now moving really in the general direction of Atlanta, producing baseball size hail. So pretty significant storms now beginning to develop, and we think this is really just the beginning. These storms should continue and kind of fester and pulse up and down, and new ones will develop, new ones will go up and down through the whole night. So let's just kind of start things out here in the deep south. So we've got several watches in place right now. We've got this kind of light, or it's almost like a darker purple watch here. Columbia has just been removed from it. But right across here, Augusta's in it. If you're at the Masters right now, that's what we call a PDS tornado watch. So that's a particularly dangerous situation. There's been some pretty significant tornadoes in southern Georgia today, and that was with the first wave, the wave that developed with the warm front, with the initial push of the system online. Since then, we've had some new development up here to the north. We had a new tornado watch issued across parts of South Carolina, and then also into areas of southern North Carolina. Not a lot of hail anticipated with this. We'll watch the storm down here by Myrtle Beach to see if it can do anything. Really, not a lot of hail with all this activity here to the south and southern Georgia as well. So everything's just kind of clustered together. We'll watch some of these what we call tail-end Charlies back here for the potential to do something. Also have to watch some of these storms now starting to pop and fester and brew here in parts of Florida. So this will be interesting to see if anything can get going down here near Jacksonville. We've had a storm trying to go up in parts of Mississippi. Hasn't really had a chance to do so. But here's where the big stuff is. Look at all the hail reports now coming in here. We've got several different storms here, but here's the big one right now. Just moved through the Oxford area in Alabama, produced baseball size hail let's see here, in Munford, so 1 mile east of Munford. We've had several reports of 2-inch baseball size hail with this storm. It's moving right down I-20. So those of you familiar with Alabama and Georgia, I-20 basically runs from Birmingham all the way over towards the Atlanta area, and that's where it's rocking and rolling. So you can see it. Here's I-20 right here. That's our red line. Here is Oxford right here. We had several reports of hail now coming in from the Oxford area. This looks like a potentially damaging, pretty significant hailstorm that's moved through that area. Moved just north of Talladega. We do have a tornado warning with this storm as well. And what we're watching here is, if you notice, right here's the southern edge of the northern edge of the cloud deck on this morning activity, and the sun is now coming out in Atlanta. So if things can warm up in Atlanta, we've got 77 here in LaGrange. That air is moving north and east into Atlanta. We've even got 70 now in parts of the western sides of Atlanta. So as this air warms up and becomes unstable, this storm's going to continue to move into a favorable environment to produce large hail. So we're going to continue to watch that. This one, just to the north of the storm here. So this we'll call this one right now. It's near Heflin. Just to the south of Heflin, moving off to the east, mostly to the east, maybe just a tad bit north of east. This storm up here to the north hasn't quite made a right turn, so it's moving off to the northeast. It's had a history producing some ping pong ball and some golf ball size hail as well. That's going to move in the general direction of, let's see here, Calhoun, or just to the south of Calhoun. And so it's Adairsville, moving in that general direction right now. So you can expect that one to continue to move off to the north and east. Let's jump over. Here's actually a new severe thunderstorm warning just north of Huntsville. So we've got storms now firing in the Huntsville area. Look at the little hooks on these. So these storms going up. This is normal. Here's Moores Mill. This is, let's see here. See if we can get a highway here. So we're looking north of Huntsville into the Fayetteville area. Storm is going to town. Here we go, back up here to the north if we keep going. Here's a look at Bowling Green, Kentucky, now being hit with golf ball size hail. So if you are in the neighborhood, let's back this up here. Look at this storm. Look how quick they go up. They don't take very long. Here it is. So storm fires, to the north of Franklin. Let's zoom in here just a little too much there. Zoom in here to Bowling Green and watch this thing as it lifts off to the north-northeast. And then pop, Bowling Green right there with golf ball size hail. So that's an actual report. 1 mile north-northwest of Bowling Green. That's pretty good. The source is broadcast media. Usually when it says broadcast media like that, usually what we're seeing is that is a that's public sending in a picture. So it could have been through Facebook or Twitter or something like that. It looks like it was close to golf ball size. Our meteorologists will actually be analyzing this storm to see if that's what it looks like. And for those of you logged in, if you have access to the maps, Bowling Green has more than likely already been mapped, or it's being mapped as we speak. So you're going to see that swath in our maps already. So go to the Manage Clients tab, and you'll be able to get to that. Keeping up the line here, these storms in Kentucky have really started to kind of take off here. So if we jump up here, Elizabethtown right now, it looks like we just had a report a quarter. That might have been from an earlier. No, that's from this storm moving in. And it's a lot stronger back here to the west. In fact, let's go over here. Let's take a look at the high res as this moves into Elizabethtown. This is a pretty nice little populated area here. So we're going to go high res with the Louisville radar here. Tornado warning. It's actually in Elizabethtown now. So again, the radar that we were just on a little bit behind. But look at the, oh wow, this is a really nice storm. Look at see the lower green streak right in here, this green and blue. So that's indicating some large hail now as it moves into the Elizabethtown area. Let's look at some volume on this here. Yeah, lots of hail too. Notice all the grays right in here. So telling us that there's quite a bit of hail. It's got its inflow notch right in here. And then the biggest hail right now or on this loop is actually just to the east, right over here, just to the east of all this pink. So it's right over in here is where the biggest hail actually is right now from that storm in Elizabethtown. So let's see here. Let's see if we can keep going through this here. All right, so let's take a look. So we're going to keep kind of bouncing around here. We've got meteorologists sending out reports as well here at HailTrace. So we're getting a lot of data in. So again, here's the Bowling Green storm as it moved through that area. This is from pretty high up, but you can see all the low levels here, and then it moves right through the Bowling Green area. Boom, golf ball size hail report comes in. I think it's a perfect example of what we have going on there. All right, so let's see here. Next up, we've got okay, Manchester, Tennessee. So we've got let's go to Nashville. Let's look at Nashville radar here. Let's see here. I think I got Nashville up somewhere. Wilmington, Ohio. Actually, let's look at this too. This was kind of interesting. Storm never really got any warning put out for it, but nice little storm there. Just missed Dayton. We're gonna go ahead and take a look though at the the Nashville radar site here real quick. Take a look and see exactly what we've got going on there. And we're going to take a look at some of the storms that went through just to the north of Louisville. Had a lot of golf ball reports come out of that area as well. So let's see here. Birmingham. Let's go there with KILN. All right, so we're going to let this radar come in and kind of load up for us here. This is Nashville's radar. You can see we've got some quarter reports that have kind of come in on the back side of Nashville there. But here we go, Manchester. So this is kind of funny. So you've got a 0.88. That's a nickel size hail report. But here's how we know that we've got good hail. First of all, we have some serious returns on this storm. Big time hook echo, tornado warning, in fact, and actually there might even be a tornado. Let's see here. Yeah, right in here. You can see the green that comes out. That's probably a tornado on the ground with that storm. But went right through the Manchester area. You can see right back here. This is where the big hail is. So it's actually right back in here. You can see all the greens and the blues that are showing up right in here, just to the west of Manchester. So Manchester has this is U41, and then this is I-24 moving through Manchester. Okay, so everything is to the north of State Highway 55 right here, but then State Highway 53 that runs to the north out of Manchester, it moves through that area. So State Highway 50, let's see, what was it? 53 right here, where it merges in here with the I-24 area. That's where the big hail basically went across. Now that storm continues to move off to the east. Still looks like it's producing some hail. It may not be quite as big as what we had just a few minutes ago. We've got these storms down here to the Huntsville area. Um, okay, so these storms are right in here now. So this is again, north of Huntland. This storm's producing some severe hail. These storms actually just now developing, so those will continue to go up. Here's the storm that just produced the quarters in, it's already off to the east of Lebanon. So it's going to go in between Gordonsville up towards, as it's moving towards Carthage. So this will be worth watching as it heads in the general direction of Carthage. If we actually switch, we'll go to a little closer radar here so we can see it just a little bit better. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, so this is a nice little storm now moving just to the west of Gordonsville, moving in the general direction of Carthage. Now, the radar in Nashville, it has a tendency to overdo these storms a little bit. So we're gonna side with caution on this storm. You can see it has all the greens in here and tells you, yeah, this is monster hail falling. But it's got the pinks and it's got the hail core and all that stuff. But we've just seen from a tendency on a lot of storms, you get burned one time on saying that they're producing big hail, and then you find out none of them were. So you learn to work with this radar. That's actually what the meteorologists are able to do a little bit better is adjust for some of that. So we'll watch this here. New severe thunderstorm warning just issued as we speak. 8 miles to the southwest of Carthage, moving to the northeast at 60 miles an hour. These things are hauling. They're going to warn it for quarters, and I'm okay with quarters right now, just knowing what Nashville's radar likes to overdo. So let's take a look. Let's go back to Birmingham now. So we've got our big storm. We haven't actually looked at it from the high res stuff here. Look at the size of the marker. Look at this storm. Look at the blue. Look at this. This is baseball size hail. Easily. This is maybe even softball size hail falling right now. All the way up here to the north. So golf ball size hail in Heflin. And look, they were barely even hit by the storm. So this storm is producing monster hail. This is definitely could be the storm of the day right now. Now we have a 3-inch report back here. Nothing as a surprise here. All these reports coming in off of this thing, and it's moving straight into Georgia here. Let's switch to Atlanta's radar here. Let's take a look at it from an angle here headed towards Atlanta. This is going to be the storm that we're going to want to watch. We may end up staying live until this thing goes through the Atlanta area because I think it's going to move into Atlanta, and I don't know if anything's going to be able to stop it. So we'll have to see here. So it's, again, a huge marker on it right now. And then this blue area right here is just massive hail that's falling. So big time hail falling. The marker there came down just a tad. It'll pulse up and down, so that nothing uncommon with that. But big hail falling out of this storm. Let's see if we can load a few frames of it here. Yeah, look at that. That was monster. That was some monster. That was some softballs falling right there for sure. Just south of Heflin, some softball size hail. I'm very certain of that. That is some. Look at this. Here's the hail spike on it, shooting off. So you can see this. So what's happening is basically the hail is causing the radar beam to reflect straight out instead of going back to the radar, and it's causing this little spike on the radar. And it does it when there's really large hail in a storm. It's a really common occurrence in very large hail in a thunderstorm. And we can look at some of these up here and see if they have it, and they don't. So this storm, again, north of Piedmont, in between Cedar Bluff and Piedmont, basically, just to the east of Hoax Bluff, producing maybe a quarter or two here or there. Let's see, it probably weakened a little bit. Yeah, it was a lot better back there. So that storm is actually weakened here. And hopefully that's not what's going to happen with our other storm here. I'm going to assume that our other storm is actually taken away from that one. This one is just so strong right now. Let's hear a little bit closer on this here. Right in there, that's still really large hail falling right now. New warning has just been issued. So as it moves in, so into the so Carrollton's probably it's going to be close. It's probably going to go to the north of Carrollton. So they've warned it for 2-inch hail. They're being soft on that. It looks like maybe Villa Roca. You're going to be in line for this storm, I would say. Hell marker just came back up again, so we're back up to 2.5 now. So yeah, this storm basically V-line in here. Let's put a tornado on it, maybe. I have a tornado on it as well. Okay, so let's just get an idea of the direction. You can see if you just kind of watch the northern edge of the storm, just watch as it's basically paralleling I-20. So the northern edge is going to go right on I-20. It's going to go between Carrollton and I-20, and then it's going to basically go right very close to is it Villa Rica? Yeah, Villa Rica. And then it's going to head right into Douglasville and then right into Atlanta. So a similar track, if those of you that remember, here it is now moving into Georgia now. So now we're getting hail in Georgia. So it's now crossing the state line. We've got this other storm down here to the south, to the northeast of Alexander City in Alabama. It's a pretty nice little storm as well. And then we've got these other little showers that are going up. We're going to have to watch these because conditions are very favorable for large hail right now. In fact, if we go back out here, let's just look at some of the conditions here, see how things are warming up. So we're going to have a new update on temperatures here in Atlanta here in, I would say probably about the next 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll get these temperatures to update, and they should have warmed quite a bit with the sun out. So expect to see that. But look back here in Alabama, everything's in the mid 80s. So there's lots of instability back here. Also, even to the south of this line, we've got lots of 80s. So if these storms can get going, it could definitely be some trouble there. But if we keep going up the line here, you can see lots of instability temperatures. It's 80 in Lexington right now. So there's lots of instability. 77 in Cincinnati. So the instability is there. Let's leave our storm here in Alabama for just a minute. Let's give some attention up here to Louisville. Trying to kind of bounce around. There's obviously, excuse me, a lot of storms going on. So the storm moving through Elizabethtown. Here it is now. You can see it's kind of cycling. It looks like here. Look at this up here. This is probably where there's some big hail falling right up in here right now. Towards Lebanon Junction, just to the south of there, and then it's almost got this hook that's hooking around right here, and then it may be trying to recycle back down here. So it's doing some interesting things here. Let's go. Okay, so Shelbyville here, you're getting some hail right now. Doesn't look too enormous in Shelbyville or Elk Creek. So off to the east of Louisville. Let's back this radar up here. So here's a look at the storm that actually went through the Georgetown area of Indiana. So it went on the Indiana side of the Louisville area. And it produced some pretty significant hail as well. We had this storm down here. This is near Hardinsburg, to the north of Hardinsburg, Indiana. Or Kentucky, I should say. So that produced some big hail. You can see these storms basically just lifting off to the north and east. Big hailer, big hailer. These are kind of pulsing right up in here, and they're moving really, really fast. I mean, really fast. Your hail time's like 30 seconds in these things. But they're producing golf ball size hail. They're up around the low, and that's causing them to produce that large hail. So being up underneath the low has got a lot of cold air aloft, so they're producing some big hail. As you get down here, they're more along the dry line and the cold front, and that's allowing them to not produce as much big hail. Or they're producing a lot of big hail, but they're more isolated. So I think they'll actually produce bigger hail, I should say, down the line from that particular storm. We've got more reports of golf ball size hail moving through Bowling Green, so that's always a good sign for that particular storm, saying that it was producing some big hail. All right, so we're going to watch this storm right here. I think this one's one for watching for sure here in Kentucky. The other storms to watch here in Kentucky, this one up by Shelbyville, there we go. As I speak there, the hail marker jumps up on it. It's got a really nice shape to it, really nice inflow notch, nice updraft. It's a tall thunderstorm. That's basically going to move in the general direction of Williamstown. and maybe Crittenton, and eventually it could move in the direction of parts of the Cincinnati metro. So we'll have to watch that for Cincinnati. Um, and then this guy right in here is going to move basically towards Taylorsville. And I think it'll probably stay to the west of Frankfort, but it'll be worth watching. Oh, no, actually, let's see here. It's going to move in the general direction of Taylorsville and Frankfort. So we're going to have to watch that one closely. That one's a nice storm. This storm right here north of Munfordville has had a history producing golf ball size hail. Looks like it's come down a little bit, a couple notches down, but it's moving off to the northeast. It does have a tornado warning, so it does need to be taken pretty seriously here. This guy does have a tornado right now with it. Let's see here. Let's look at, there's the hail marker bouncing up on it. So this one's producing some good hail. For sure, right in here, down the line. So it's transitioning its hail into a new location, but it continues to go up. So the hail size is going up on this storm as we speak. All right, let's see here. Let's go to a different radar now. So we're gonna leave Louisville. We're gonna go back. Where this storm is really taking off up here by Shelbyville. Let's take a look at what else we've got going on here. So we've got Atlanta's radar. We've got Nashville. Let's look at Nashville again. So again, we said, this is funny, we said it has a tendency to overdo the hail size. So we've got some reports of Nichols. We'll see if anything bigger comes in. But it definitely looks like it was overdone on the hail size there. Just missed Gordonsville. We've still got this storm down here to the south. We'll actually switch down here to Huntsville for this. We can get a better angle of it. All right, so we had a quarter report come in here in Manchester. I do think that there was probably some golf balls, especially on the west side of Manchester. Looks like this one right now is dropping some hail, but not producing a whole lot more. So we'll see if that trend continues on that. These storms near Huntsville, look at them, they continue to go up. These are going to move off to the north and east if they can develop fast enough, which conditions are favorable for that. If they can develop fast enough, they can produce some pretty large hail. And then here's those showers that we talked about in the Birmingham area. Look at this. I mean, it's picking up this storm way down here. Looks like our storm over here by Cedar Bluff continues to kind of pulse up and down. But looks like it's showing signs. Let's get back over here to Atlanta again. Oop, wrong one there. All right, so here's Atlanta. So let's go ahead and dive on in here to Atlanta. So we've got a new tornado warning has now been issued for parts of Georgia. That includes Carrollton. Now, Carrollton, you're going to miss out on a lot of the hail, but this tornado is V-lining you. So if you're in the Carrollton area, you definitely got to watch out. And this storm is pulling the big hail down the hook, actually. So Carrollton, you might actually get nailed with some of this big hail because it's pulling it all the way down the hook. And I mean big hail coming around the hook on this thing. Baseballs, softballs, probably. This one of the more impressive storms I've seen this year. So this thing means business, and again, with it pulling the hail down into the hook of the storm itself, that puts Carrollton into play now for some potentially baseball size hail in Carrollton, Georgia. So yeah, so we're gonna watch this one closely. Here's a look at some of the reports. Here's a tennis ball report. Brett Adair, he's actually a really good storm chaser. So trees were stripped by the hail with pine needle debris covering the roads. So yeah, this is widespread golf ball size hail with some up to tennis ball size. So this storm is producing a lot of big hail. It's not just a little bit. We also had a large wall cloud, so it's producing a wall cloud. So yeah, so there's some good stuff coming in on this storm here, and it means business. It's not showing any signs of weakening right now. Continues to produce very large hail all the way through. I mean, even up in here, but even pulling it back down into the hook, it looks like at times, where we're producing some very large hail as well. All right, let's look at things nationally again here. Let's see what all we've got going on. Make sure that we're not missing anything here. Look at these storms in Jacksonville area. They're just moved offshore, it looks like, so they're not going to have quite enough time to produce anything. We've got this kind of bow echo here on the front end of this main line. These little storms are kind of notching up, and there we go. Let's get back here just a little bit. So these pose a pretty serious tornado threat, so you'll want to watch out for that. And then let's look at this storm by Myrtle Beach. We haven't looked at this yet. Let's go there with Huntsville radar real quick. Let's see what we've got going on. I've got a tornado warning that's been issued now for that storm near Myrtle Beach. Give this one a second here to load in there. Yeah, this is a nice little storm now. Look at the nice little hook. We've got, so these greens are actually because of the lack of precip, but right here, not as much. So you can see we do have the precip right there. So there definitely could be some nice hail in this storm. Really nice hook echo. There's a lot of precip in the area. Let's see the radar. Okay, they were pulling right there. So I'm not seeing like a hill spike or anything like that on this storm, but this was definitely worth watching. Let's see if we can get a direction on this one. So it's moving, basically it's going to go in between Conway and Myrtle Beach, and it might scrape parts of Myrtle Beach or parts of Conway, so it'll be close. So we'll watch that one here. But definitely a nice little storm. Just got out in front just enough. Was able to kind of cycle itself up and really kind of go to town there. All right, let's see here. Let's go back over here to Atlanta. This is going to be the storm to watch. I don't like that L marker that just came in, but it's actually going through a little bit of a cycle, it looks like. So it's got this little shower that's kind of popped up here out front. We'll watch that. That should actually just go away. So way up here to the north, this is probably on I-20, yeah, about half mile south of I-20. So yeah, so you had some quarter-size hail. That's up on the northern fringe. That's where the smaller hail would be. For sure. So I-20 is getting, the cars running up and down I-20 are getting quarter-size hail. But if you drop probably, I would say 1 to 2 miles south of I-20, that's where you get into golf balls and then tennis balls and then baseballs and probably some 3-inch hail as well. There's the actual 2.5-inch report that came in. So we've got that one on the map now. Let's see here. This is definitely the storm of the day right now. Once this little shower right here, that's going up just on the north side of Bowdoin, it's going to ingest that shower, and then it should just take right back off again. And you can see the hail marker is already coming back up again. So I'm not expecting that to do anything except be just a little bit of a cycle, which is normal with these storms. They do cycle up and down quite a bit. Some of these storms back here to the west are showing some signs of actually intensifying a little bit more. So that could be a second wave of supercell thunderstorms. Some of these are far enough back that they could actually impact the Birmingham area. So we'll have to watch that very closely. Let's see here. All right, so let's go back out here to our national viewpoint. So again, we've got the storm moving fairly quickly towards the Atlanta area. I would say we're probably about an hour and a half out of Atlanta now with this storm. So if it can continue and hold itself together, we're going to knock on wood, and we might get some big hail in Atlanta. Storms in Kentucky still looking pretty good here. Again, this one is the one that just moved through the Elizabethtown area, and it's moving in the general direction of Taylorsville and potentially Frankfort, moving kind of right in that general direction for a little bit later on today. It's probably about 2 hours from Frankfort, I would say, right now. So if you're in Frankfort, you're probably looking at about 8 o'clock having that storm. Now we've got some storms up here in, look at this one. This is the same storm that actually went through the Louisville area. Now severe, moving into Ohio. Right now the warning's for half dollar size hail, but it's producing a really high volume of hail. So yeah, so we've got look at this, a real high volume of hail coming down with this storm right now, just south of Camden, and it's moving off to the northeast. So it's going to kind of go through Camden up towards Lewisburg, right up in here. Lewisburg probably in the next 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. This is all west of Dayton. This storm by Troy is probably producing a lot of real small hail. Might have a quarter or two coming out of it, and it's going to continue moving off to the northeast. So overall, the storms themselves up here are moving off to the northeast. The low is right back over here, general direction of Evansville, it looks like. So it'll basically move off to the east, and that'll actually be what keeps the progression of the storms off to the east. Okay, so let's see here. So the best storms right now appear to be that we've got two pockets, potentially a third one in South Carolina, but best storms right now appear to be in northern Kentucky, maybe making a line towards Cincinnati, towards Frankfort, and then we've got the best storm right now is moving towards the Atlanta area, and it's really just kind of V-lining right at Atlanta, and so that should continue. Let's go ahead and go back to high-res Atlanta mode here. So we haven't had the new marker come in, but look at this storm now merging in, getting sucked in. It's going to cycle in, and then the storm should be able to take off again. If I were in Carrollton, I'd be watching out now for this storm. It's producing the big hail is actually kind of falling up here to the north now. So you're getting some pretty good hail now on I-20. It's moving towards the Bowdoin Junction, Mount Zion. It'll be in Carrollton here in the next 15 minutes. So Bowdoin to the north. Basically, this is State Highway 166. It's going to move right along and north of State Highway 166. I don't think there's a tornado with it right now. Let's look at some velocity and confirm that. It's got a nice little inflow notch. It's got some rotation with it, but it's not real crazy right now. It is producing a lot of hail though. Up in here you can see all the grays. That's a lot of hail falling, and there's some big hail falling. We might have dropped down into the golf ball range, at least of what it's producing right now. But again, as this shower, as it cycles, it's cycling its rotation into a new location of the storm. As that continues, that's what's going to allow it to go ahead and redevelop and re-intensify again. So right now you're probably looking at golf ball size hail about to move into Mount Zion. So here in the next couple of minutes, and then we've got golf ball size hail getting ready to move into Bowdoin Junction. Maybe even a couple of 2-inch stones in Mount Zion and Bowdoin Junction. We'll have to watch as this thing continues to drop all of its big hail, and it should actually go ahead and pick up some new hail, is what I would expect. So we should see some new hail development as this cycle basically kind of cycles through here. So still in a really good position here. The warning is for 2-inch hail still. The tornado warning, let's see what we've got on it. Hail up to 2-inch in diameter on that as well. So right now they're wanting to warm it for 2-inch hail, and I'm pretty good with that. I think it was a little bit stronger back to the west. I think it's actually going to intensify again. The storm down here to the south kind of keeps pulsing up and down. They keep wanting to go, but they're just not doing it. We now have lightning back here to the southwest of Birmingham, so that'll be a good sign here. All right. All right, so I'm going to pull us out here. I'm going to go to the national view again here. I'm going to let it set right here on the national view for a second. Take just a quick break, and then we'll be right back. We're going to let this thing kind of meander its way into the Atlanta area. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. All right, we're back here, and so continuing severe weather coverage, hail coverage, right now across parts of the Ohio Valley and across parts of the southeast. So again, we had a couple of storms that we were watching before we left. We talked about these storms down here by Jacksonville. Look, that one took off as soon as it went into the Atlantic Ocean, doing nobody any good over there. We've been watching this storm over here by Myrtle Beach. Has a tornado warning out with it right now. So pretty nice little storm. It's going to kind of shoot the gap here between Conway and Myrtle Beach. We've got a couple of different little storms here across parts of southern Georgia. A lot of these have been producing some off and on tornadoes. Then we've got new development now back here. So notice we have a new little hail marker now showing up to the southwest of Birmingham. So these storms now trying to kind of take off. It's a real warm environment. So conditions are favorable for that to happen as long as we can get enough lift to get them to go ahead and push up and take off through there. We've got one storm here. It's actually not severe warned. It's been kind of up and down. It did actually produce a tornado just a little while ago back here to the west of Wadley. And then we've got our storm up here that's now moving into the Carrollton area. That's the one we've been watching. We said it's been kind of going through this cycle, and it's still trying to cycle. We're not for sure what it's actually doing right now. Continues to really just look a lot weaker than what it was earlier. Let's look at it here from Atlanta right now. So again, this thing just kind of went off, but now you can see it's almost about to almost even split here, and then we've got another wave trying to develop here. So really just kind of unorganized right now. We're up to see what it can actually do. I would even go to the lines of saying that it's actually completely stopped almost producing hail now. It has. It's not producing maybe some small hail right up in here near Bowdoin Junction, Mount Zion here. Look how quick it was too. I mean, it was just just died right there. Just big L, and then done, just like that. So we're going to have to watch and see if it's going to split, if it's cycling. Not really for sure what it's doing. There is, again, the air's not quite as warm over here to the east, so there's a potential that there could be some sinking air from the morning convection in Atlanta that could cause the storm to die. So we'll have to watch that. It looked like things were good to go for that storm to continue to move off to the east, but right now it's not looking too good. So we'll continue to watch that. Right now, the best storm's probably up here close to the Louisville area. So we had a golf ball size hail report come in Bardstown. This is now moving in the general direction of Frankfort. It's going to maybe clip some of the northwest side of Lawrenceburg. We've got another really good golf ball producer up here moving towards Monterey and Gratz here. That's going to move probably just south of Cincinnati. It's going to go in towards California, Mentor, Moscow, Nivelle, maybe Alexandria, Butler, so pretty far south. And then we've got this storm up here moving towards the Dayton area. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at that one. There's the storm up here near Myrtle Beach. Still not doing a whole lot here, so we'll take that one, and we'll go ahead and jump in to the storm up here to the north. Let's look at this one headed into the Dayton area. This is probably the highest populated area with the storm moving in the general direction of it right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. I'll let this radar load in there. Let's see what we've got going on. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning, warned for $0.5 size hail. Again, as it moves in that general direction here, we can see here's the big storms down here in Kentucky that we just talked about. There are some small hailers here moving into Independence in that area. This storm right here near Lawrenceburg, we'll have to watch it, but I think a lot of this rain activity is going to hamper that quite a bit here. But yeah, look at this. This is a nice little storm here. It's gonna be a quick shot of hail that's gonna move really right across Dayton, most of the city here. And I think we might actually make a run at golf balls with this storm here. It's going to be a high volume producer if we switch this over here. You can see kind of the grays here mixing in right in here, so that's indicating that there's quite a bit of hail falling. And you can see here's the radar indicating that there's some larger objects in that storm. It's actually reflecting those. But right in here is where probably the biggest, and it makes sense with the deeper purples there. So this storm basically making a V line right now, right for Dayton, Ohio. I would say right now probably 1.25 inch, maybe 1.5 inch size hail, moving in towards the Dayton area, and it's going to move right across the city of Dayton. And this storm will probably just keep on going, maybe even make a line towards Columbia. This is the same storm that moved through the Louisville area earlier today. Let's look at some of these back here in Indiana too. We haven't looked at those in a little bit. All right. Here we go. Let's switch over here to Indianapolis radar. See if there's anything worth talking about over here. Got a lot of severe thunderstorms over here, even some tornado warnings. These are going to be kind of your high volume hailers. A lot of small hail back here underneath the low, but capable of producing hail up to golf ball size for sure. So yeah, nothing really to write home about. Some small hail moving through the east side of Bloomfield, moving in the general direction of Bloomington. Some rain up here in Terre Haute, but not a whole lot going on with that. Let's switch gears back here. We've got a new warning now for the Louisville area. Let's take a look at that storm and see how it's doing. So it's pretty small right now. Probably just developed really, but they're gonna warn these pretty quickly, as they've had a history of pretty quickly producing some large hail. This storm now down here to the south, moving towards Pierce and Greensburg, is really taken off as well. And then there's our storm headed towards, kind of turning to the right here. This one might make a line towards still kind of headed towards the Frankfort, Lawrenceburg, maybe the Georgetown area. I have to watch that. Maybe we can get Zach to drive his car into it. Zach, our sales rep, lives in Lexington. I bet he's not going to, though. This storm up here to the north near Monterey is still going to town. Pretty rural area, though. So right now, really, there's your quarter report. So we just kind of talked about that being 1/4 inch and 1/4. Type stuff up in there. Really, right now, not a whole lot to write home about. Let's go back down here and take one last look at Atlanta. See if this storm is doing anything better. What it was, and it's still kind of all stretched out and strung out everywhere. So it's definitely going to have to reorganize itself if it's going to do anything. Let's go back here to Birmingham. We'll take a look at that. Just kind of make one last round here before we cut the stream down, because there's not a lot to talk about. So we like to be on here when there's good storms going on, hit populated areas, and right now they're in between all populated areas. All right. So we're going to let this Birmingham radar load in. So this storm's still kind of pulsing up and down, hasn't really made its mind up if it's going to take off yet. We just had some 1/4 size hail get reported in Huntsville, so let's take a look at that one. It's an okay looking little storm, but nothing really to write home about. Still kind of stretched out long ways here. The theme on a lot of these down here. We've got this storm, again, still kind of V-line in the Dalton area here. maybe a little north of Dalton, in between Chattanooga and Dalton. And it's not severe right now, but it's had a history of producing some hail. Again, our Atlanta storm one last time here as this thing tries to move in. Lots of lightning with it, but not a lot of hail right now. So we're going to continue to watch the Atlanta area. We're going to watch Dayton. We'll be watching Lexington and some of the other populated areas. Birmingham is one that we're still kind of watching for right now. So we're going to watch all these, and as they try to move into some of these different areas, hopefully if they intensify, we're going to cut back in and go live again. We'll make sure to alert you and let you know that we're going to do that, and we'll come back to you.